Ah,
Okay, 1 minute and we'll be ready to go. Okay, Beseder. Very good. Okay, so thank you very much. This is Gidon Ariel at Root Source, and I'm very, very happy and excited to be speaking today with Rosian. Rosian, I see that your name on the screen is
Zerner.
Zerner, but I think that your last name is Zerner. So you left out an R over there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Yes,
fix that for you.
that's
Rename you,
me.
just stick ZER, and the next person will have to change it also. So, Rosian, you live in Texas, right?
Yes, indeed.
Which city?
In Dallas.
In Dallas. One of my favorite cities, if not my favorite city in the United States. And a little bit surprising that we've never met, but there's always a first time.
I think actually I did that
Ah,
a long time ago, like the 2022 or something like that.
a
Yeah.
long time ago. Well, maybe today we'll be talking about a time that's a little bit longer time ago
Yes,
than 2022. Because Rosianne, you are also a Holocaust survivor.
indeed I am. Yes.
So we don't have a lot of time, and I'm sure that you can speak for at great length about your life story. But why do we? What I'm just fascinated. If you could tell me where were you born?
I was born in Kaunas, Kovno, Kavna, different names depending if you're Jewish or Christian or Russian. And in 1935, that was the capital of Lithuania at that time.
Wow. So first of all, with your permission, I will share the screen because I whenever I see a hear of a new place, I like seeing it on Google Maps. So let
Oh,
me do that 1 second. Here is Google Maps. Excuse me, sharing the
mm,
screen. And what is you said? How would you spell that nowadays?
Kaunas.
Yeah, Kaunas City, Kaunas County, Kaunas City, Lithuania. Let's see where that comes. There it is, right?
Yes. And
Oh, and it's not far from Vilna.
Vilna is the capital now, and Kaunas, where I was born, was the capital then. But they were
Mhm.
both seats of great Jewish learning.
So there it is. So you've got Poland and Belarus and this little thing. What is this little thing in between over here?
Gideon, I can hardly hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Better.
Okay. So just underneath Lithuania, you're not required to be a, geography buff, but there's a city called Kaliningrad, which doesn't seem to be part of Poland or Lithuania, but it's in between.
Yes, that was changed by the Russian. Kaliningrad is not in Lithuania.
I wonder what it's part of. My oh my. It's in the Kaliningrad Oblast of Russia.
Yeah.
So it's actually part
Lithuania
of
is, excuse me, go ahead.
Russia, even though it's there's Lithuania and Belarus between Russia and that and Kaliningrad. That's so interesting.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Kaliningrad was Königsberg, and that's where my mother was born.
okay, so you got a connection. In any case, in any case, this is what they call. Let me close this. This is what they call Eastern Europe. You've got the Netherlands, France, Germany, the western side, and then Poland, Belarus, and Ukraine and Lithuania on the right. And up on the north, you got Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. So that's where you were born.
Lithuania is the largest of the three Baltic states you just mentioned, but it fits into Texas 10 times. So it's not that big.
Right.
Um, and the population is about, 30,000, 30 million people, which is the same as Texas. But Texas has the grounds. So, and it's really a very funky little country. I mean, it was, it claims it was the center of Lithuania, the first university. Uh, they had like 40 synagogues in a small space. It claims to have like 6,000 lakes. Some of them are
Oh,
puddles, you know. And there's a lot of, it was the last country to relinquish paganism. It has a statue of Frank Zappa in the middle of Vilnius for some reason. I have no idea why.
talk about paganism. My, oh,
Yeah,
my.
exactly. And it has a language that is the most considered the most ancient spoken language in the world today. It's based on the Sanskrit, and people come and study that and the Lithuanian music. You know,
Well, as an Israeli, I beg to take issue. But we won't argue about whether Hebrew is an older language. But
Alavai. Yeah. All
so
right.
so you were born there. Did you have brothers or sisters?
I have one brother who was born after the war in Italy. So my mother was born in Germany. I was born in Lithuania, and my father, where we were like fifth generation Lithuanian Jews, and my brother is in Italy. So just typical Jewish family. Everybody's in a different country. Yeah.
Now, Lithuania, again, I personally was born in the United States. My father is from Hungary, and my mother's parents moved from Russia. But as an Orthodox Torah studying Jew, I've definitely heard of Lita, or Lithuania, which is, I believe, the Yiddish way of saying Lithuania.
Yes.
And it was a tremendously important Torah Jewish center in Europe.
Yes. The Vilna Gaon pilgrimages come to his grave even now, pilgrims. He introduced a whole new way of looking at Hasidism, and
Right,
he's, uh, he's revered.
very much so. And many people lay claim to be a descendant of his, and I think I am also, but I'll leave that to my brother.
Yeah.
So you were born in this hotbed of Jewry in
Yes, but my
Lithuania.
parents were really sort of secular. I come from a line of rabbis, but um, uh, I never even thought about Judaism. We were just there. And, and then Hitler defined me as a Jew, and you know
It
the
sounds
rest.
that sounds very much like parts of the United States where you have some very strongly identifying Jews,
Mhm.
uh, entire communities, with many barely identifying Jews living in between them.
Could you say that again? You're just fading in and out. Yeah.
I said that what you said about Lithuania, where you had some ultra Orthodox Jews, but also totally secular Jews
Yeah.
living almost side by side.
Yeah.
That sounds very much like many places in the United States as well.
Throughout the world, right? Yes. Um, People have choices that they can do in certain countries. Other countries, they don't.
Right. You say that you came from a long line of rabbis, but at some point, maybe your parents, maybe their parents, decided this is not for us, and they were living a more secular lifestyle.
Well, my mother came from a uh, kind of cultured German family, and she studied piano in Paris, with Nadia Boulanger, actually her cousin. And she became, in those days, what they call bohemian. And it didn't, Judaism didn't touch her much. Um,
Wow.
my father went through military school, became a lawyer, um, couldn't practice because of restrictions for Jews, became a successful businessman and was doing business with several countries. So he really didn't pay much attention to Judaism and just put himself into his work and his marriage and his family. And then, of course, everything changed because the Hitler had other plans.
Now, you previously said that your father was unable to practice law because he was Jewish.
Correct.
So what year was that approximately?
Well, the war started early in Kaunas. So we're talking 41, 42 with the war. And before that, he was practicing, he was making a living. And he had to switch from being a lawyer to exporting and importing wool, actually, with South Africa, with England, with Canada, even, and
I'm
which
I'm
surprised me
confused.
very much because Lithuania is not that much of a wool country or
I'm,
big
I'm a bit
country.
I'm just a bit confused. The war started, of course, between Germany and Poland. That's when Germany invaded Poland. That was the beginning of World War II. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and things, of
Well,
course, were pretty bad for Jews in Germany before the beginning of the Second World War, and they became very quickly bad for the Polish Jews when Germany invaded Poland. When did Lithuania get into the war?
very early because Lithuania borders Poland, and the Lithuanians kind of welcomed the Nazis. So it wasn't much of a struggle. And as a
I
matter of fact,
understand.
there was collaboration.
I'll bet, yeah, like in many places. But but you said that your father was practicing as a lawyer, but then the war started, so
No,
he had to
no, he could never practice. He
because
went
there were
through law school,
bec-
but as a Jew, he didn't have the opportunity.
was that because there were anti-Jewish laws in Lithuania even before they were conquered by Germany?
Could you say that again?
I'm a little bit confused here. When your father he was studying law
He
way
graduated and
before
became a lawyer. Yeah,
when
before, but the Russians wouldn't allow him either. Uh,
ah
so it was like a seesaw. And then when the Germans came, well, nobody could practice anything.
nobody could do anything. So in other words, he became a businessman between pretty much his graduation from law school until
Mhm.
the beginning of the war in Lithuania,
Yes,
when things became bad for all Jews anywhere where they were conquered.
correct. Yes. Um, but
And
that was a
you
trouble.
were already sorry.
Go
Go.
ahead. You were going to
I
make
want to
us.
hear what you had to say.
Well, I was going to say it wasn't good for any Jew to practice anything that is out of the ordinary. And my father, since he went through military school and he spoke Russian and German and um, not just Yiddish, which many people said Lithuanians did, um, he was valuable in some ways. But when he went into business, it was very successful, and we had privileged life and servants, and we had a 1935 car, a Ford, I believe, with a three-digit license. Not too
Wow.
many
One of the
cars
most
in
peaceful
Lithuania.
parts of Lithuania.
Yeah, yeah. So, that's before the war. And then everything changed, of course, like on a dime.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you said that you were born in 1935. My own father was born in 1930. So I'm hearing what your connection is. And you said that the war started in Lithuania about 1941.
I'm very bad at exact dates, so maybe I shouldn't say anything because may
No,
not be accurate.
it's okay. I'm also not so good at
But it did
exact
start
dates.
in
So between
41.
the two of us, we'll be okay.
Yeah. I know.
So if that means that you were about 6 or 7 years old when the war started.
Yes, I was about five, between 5 and 6.
And do you remember when it started?
I do have some memories, but what happened is in the year 2000, I realized that I'd blocked out my childhood completely, totally. I woke up one day and I said, "Hey, I'm making the same mistakes over and over again. What's the problem here?" And I realized that I don't remember anything from Lithuania. So I made it a point to go back and retrace my steps and opened up Pandora's box with everything that was there. And no, I don't know if it's good or bad because those memories are not the most pleasant.
Of course.
So, yeah.
When you say when you say retrace your steps, do you mean you actually flew to Lithuania to make a
Yes,
to,
I did. I did. And I went to the ghetto where I was interned, and that ghetto became a concentration camp called Coam. And looked at the houses I lived, and I reconnected with my rescuers, which was part of the reason for my trip. And it was a very, very deeply emotional time for me.
in 19 in 20 in 2000 did you say that you flew?
No, that's when I realized there's something that is askew, that I need to pay attention to me. Yeah.
Wait a second before
And,
we jump all the way to the end over there but let's because I'll try to give a little overview of your whole life if you don't mind. So after the Holocaust, you of course survived. Where did you stay in Lithuania? Did you go back to Lithuania? Did you move to somewhere?
well, actually, I went back to Lithuania quite a bit because I had a legal case that was never resolved. I had an uncle who he married my father's sister, and he was a composer and director and a Mischling from Germany. And he was, there's a long story. That's another full hour interview with him about him. But uh, the Lithuanians kept the scores, and I wanted the scores because I wanted to honor his memory through performances. And um, they did not. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay. the I hope I did this. Uh, it was a battle that went up to the president actually, and really
Wow.
tried, and they never gave them back. They made them a national treasure. It's now in their museum. But the Germans actually found some of his scores, so I was able to have them performed in Massachusetts and California, in Oregon, and I did my respects to his murder. His
Wow. Wow.
My aunt, his wife, committed suicide right after he was murdered. So the tragedy was in plays and
Of
in
course.
books and in my heart. So I had to follow that path. Yeah.
So now, again, you said how you would go back to Lithuania for that court case.
There was never a court case. I spoke to the culture minister, the American embassy got involved. There, it was a whole roller coaster emotionally as well as trying to understand the politics, which I'm not trained in, you know. And it lasted for several years,
Wow.
and I just gave up. It took too much out of me.
But again, that was going back from time to time. I'm asking, when the war was over, when the war ended, where did you live? Where did you? How
When the
long?
war ended, we escaped Lithuania because my father was again hired by the Russians for business because he knew it. And then they realized he was Jewish. That's the way I understand it. So the way I understand it, they had a meeting at the Politburo about Babriansky, and we didn't wait for the results. We didn't want to end up in Siberia. And so we escaped illegally and ended up in Italy to go to Israel, but
Uh huh.
that didn't happen. We came to Boston
Okay.
6 years
Boston.
later. I
Six
lived in
years later,
Italy six
you were in
years.
Italy for 6 years. Did you say?
Yes,
So,
but that's a wonderful time of my life. I've had the feeling of being steady. I started school. I was admitted to the ballet school of La Scala, which I think I was the first foreigner because you have to
wow.
be very, I don't know how they judge it, but I was the only foreigner there. And that's a free school for 6 days or 7 days a week. And it was an interesting time of my life.
I'm sure. So, but then you just and you were there with your parents and your brother.
Yes, yes. And my father established himself again. And again, we have a chauffeur, a car, and all this kind of stuff. I don't know how he did everything because when we came, we slept on cement floors in the Jewish community. We had absolutely nothing, you
That's
know.
amazing.
So, yeah, um, yeah, bringing back memories, God, Gidon.
But then you moved to Boston, and by that time, you were already about finishing your teens. You were already 20.
I was 16. I had my birthday party, the 16th birthday party on the ship that I came over on the Independence. And my parents were so strict at 10 o'clock, I had to leave the party the captain gave me. It was really to be remembered. And we docked in New York, and it was the whole thing with the Statue of Liberty. And wow,
Amazing.
yeah,
And you
interesting.
and you went to Boston. Do you know why? Boston?
Yes, my grandparents, my great grandparents had a lot of siblings. They begat, and several came to the United States. And I had like a man made family. We had nobody practically left in Lithuania, nobody actually. My one uncle that survived went to Israel. And so um, we came here, we were welcomed with open arms and became Americans.
Wow.
And it was a good choice because
No
I had
shit.
choices in life. I was able to um, get an education, make friends without fear, and have a life that I would never have had in Lithuania or Italy because America is so vast and has so much to offer. You can really plug into any level and be unhappy. If you're not, just move on.
That's right. And how long did you live in Boston for?
I moved to Dallas about 12 years ago. My whole life
Ah, so
was in Boston.
your whole life was in
I'm
Boston.
now 90 years old, and the only other place I lived is New York when I went to college there.
Where did you
Yeah.
go to college in New York?
I'm ashamed to say Columbia.
Columbia.
Yeah, Barnard. Actually, in those days we were separate, and then they merged.
So my mother, I mentioned my father before and how he was born in 1930 in Hungary. My mother was born in 1926. So
Oh,
she was about 10 years older than you, right? Um, but she also went to Columbia, but
oh,
I think she might have gone to Columbia later. I think she went
uh,
to some sort of a special program. They were looking for there was a dearth of teachers. There was not enough teachers, so she managed to get a master's in education, like in a half a year or a year or something like that. I don't know.
whoa.
No, I'm exaggerating. I don't know how long it was, but I don't know if she was in Columbia or Barnard 10 years before you because she's 10 years older than you, or
I
or
yeah.
or
I,
maybe
I
she was there.
graduated in '58. Okay.
I really don't know.
Yeah,
It's
and
a little connection that we have there.
yeah, and actually, I was admitted to graduate school at a Columbia Teachers College, and that
Teachers
was
College,
not a half a year program. It was a full program for masters. But
right?
then I had the chance to go around the world, and I dropped it. Yeah,
Okay, I would have taken the same choice.
they would never
And you were
admit
not.
me again.
So again, 35 till about 50. So you were in your mid 20s when you graduated, you say, or your early 20s.
Yes, yeah,
And did you get married at some point?
yes. I met a man in Columbia. He was at Columbia, and we got married.
Wonderful. Okay.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
you settled. Did you settle down in Boston?
Well, he ended up in Boston in medical school at Boston University, so I was among my friends again.
Now listen to this. We're going through my whole family to see how I'm
Hmm.
connected to you a little bit because my wife attended Boston University.
Really? How did
Not
that
at the
happen?
not at the same time as your husband, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. Well, he's dead, but and my son went to Boston University Medical School too.
So
So, yeah.
my wife went to Boston U as an undergraduate. She studied psychology, an undergraduate degree, and there she connected to Rabbi Pollack, who was
Oh,
the
I
head.
know
You know
him.
Rabbi
I
Pollack,
knew
of
him so
course,
well. God, yeah.
a very important uh,
Oh yeah.
pillar of the
Yeah.
Jewish community in Boston. And he impressed her a lot, and to this day, for various perspectives, she considers him her rabbi, and I'm very happy to meet with him. And I just recently had a call with him. He is going to be part of a project that I'm working on dealing with Holocaust survivors, which we don't have to talk about in this
Oh
program.
my. Oh
Very excited.
well. He he had, Elie Wiesel was teaching there, and
Right.
he yeah, and we encountered so many times. I don't think he would remember me because this is like about 40 years ago, or when we married. That's really a long time ago. So, so many coincidences here.
No, we're not done with the conversation yet. We'll see what
Yeah,
else. Your
keep going, keep going. Yeah,
so,
let's see. So, yeah. And then, what happened was when I came back from Lithuania, um, I realized I have to give back.
one
And
second. When you came back from Lithuania, you said.
when I went on my pilgrimage, sort of, in 2000, and since then, I've been very much involved in honoring the victims and survivors of the Holocaust because I was spared and I need to live my life in gratitude, basically.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I've done a
Wonderful.
lot with organizations I'm doing a lot in Dallas, even where I'm just newcomer here. There's a little park called the Garden of Hope that's being built in my name. And I had a human rights award from an organization. And um, actually, I'm speaking on Thursday at the Dallas Holocaust and Human Rights Museum. Again, I sent you the notice. And I'm just doing as I'm guided.
Rosian, we've been talking for what feels like for a minute, but it's already been about a half an hour. With your permission, now that we've already gotten the technological tinks out of the Zoom, can we maybe schedule another time to continue?
Uh, yes, but let it be after my talks.
Of
Okay,
course, of course, of course. When it is
it takes a lot
convenient for
out of
you, my
me.
dear.
All right, I'm taking my calendar and
Let's not do that
between
now. We'll do that. We'll do that through email, okay?
sounds good, but just know that because of Yom HaShoah coming up, I'm a basket case.
Don't you worry about it. If it'll wait until after Yom HaShoah, then it'll wait. Bezrat Hashem ad 120.
Sounds good, and maybe you can focus also on the wartime experiences
Of
there because
course, of course,
it's
of
been
course,
such
of
a pleasure
course.
now just chatting.
Of
Yeah,
course, of course, of course. No, but I always love to make that personal connection with the people that I'm talking to. And I
I
think
can
that our audience
continue
does like
now.
that.
Actually, I set aside an hour for you, so if you want to continue, I'm fine with that.
There's just something that came up that people are trying to call me over here that I have to get rid of. I apologize.
Oh, okay, no problem. Do you want to continue today? Because I left it open.
I'm really sorry. It's already late over here and I've got something else afterwards. So
Oh,
we'll set up something later. Don't you worry about it. You're
no,
so
no, no.
kind.
It's okay. Whatever. Just thought it's so easy because we're here already.
Right.
We don't have to have some technical difficulties or anything like that. All
All
right.
right.
You're busy. Shalom, shalom. And how is it for you? Can you give me like a little 2 minute, 1 minute thing? Are you in Jerusalem now?
I live near Hebron, which is south of Jerusalem,
Hmm.
and things are okay. This is a picture of my backyard, the Judean desert, and it's very quiet here. I live in a desert.
Yeah, there's no casualty there.
Oh, God forbid, no casualties. From time to time, we're in the middle of a war, of course. So from time to time, there are some sirens, but relatively few compared to the rest
Mhm,
of the country.
mhm, mhm. Well, I wish you more of that, and we'll
No,
be in
I
touch.
wish for even less of that too. I hope that this war will end with a wonderful victory for Israel and the United States.
We need that or else.
Okay,
All
Rosianne,
right.
you are a dear, dear, wonderful woman, and I'm really looking forward to being friends.
Whoa. Thank you very much. You just made my day.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Bye.